Today we're going to be starting off with arm flossing. So we're going to bring our arms out to the sides, palms up. You can do this standing, kneeling, sitting, in any comfortable position. Palms up towards the ceiling. And we're going to extend our wrists down, softening our shoulders, and palms back up. Extend down, feeling that stretch through the arms. Maybe some pulling in the fingers. Palms back up. Really getting a nice stretch through the arms. Lengthening. One more. And back up. Good. Bring the arms down. We're going to grab our tiered blankets. And you're going to lie on your backs. Side and then onto your back. Keeping our knees bent, we're going to find our neutral position. Arms are going to be down by the side. We're going to inhale. As we inhale, we're going to float our arms up towards the ceiling, overhead, keeping our arms as parallel as possible. Keeping our ribs nice and broad through the back. Engaging our core on our exhale. One more. Now we're going to go into our V's. So starting the same position, we're going to inhale as we bring our arms up and go out slightly into a V position. And then back down towards the hips. Inhaling and exhaling. Focusing on keeping our shoulders broad and soft, allowing the arms to move smoothly through the joint with keeping our ribs soft. One more. Pausing, and now we're going to do circles. So we're going to inhale up and exhale around and down. Inhale up, exhale around and down. You can go as wide or as small as you feel comfortable. One more this direction. And reverse direction. Last one. Good. Roll onto your side. Slide the blankets away. Grab your little ball. Place the little ball just into the meaty section of the glute and lie down onto your side. Finding that spot that's a little bit more tender than other locations and allowing the ball to melt into the tissue. If you need to, you can place a support underneath your belly. And then breathe. One more breath. remove the ball, set it off to the side. We're going to line up, legs long, head resting on your arm. Make sure you are in your neutral position in your pelvis. Length through the legs so that your hips are stacked, ribs are over pelvis, and your shoulders are in line with your ribs. From here, we're going to bend our top knee, resting your foot onto your knee. Inhale, let the hip lower. Exhale, lift up. And inhale, exhale. You want to place your hand onto your hip so that you can feel if your pelvis is moving with your leg. You're more than welcome to do that. We want to try to stay stable, using those core muscles to allow the hip to move nice and smoothly. One more. Good, back to neutral and bring the leg back down. From here, we're going to slide the leg up and then extend through the knee. So we're going to slide, lift, and lower. Slide, lift, and lower. Slide. Using your core. And one more. Good. We're going to roll onto our hands and knees before we do the other side. So on your hands and knees, we're going to start off with our pregnant cat breathing. So making sure that our hands are underneath our shoulders, our knees are underneath our hips. We're going to breathe into our belly, keeping our structure still. And then as you exhale, lift through the belly button, hugging baby in from below the pelvic floor, in front with your transverse. Giving yourself space. Two more. Good. Now I want you to grab your ball. We are going to be kneeling and placing your arms on the ball. From here, we're going to be doing a cat-cow with the ball. So we want to lift and then release through. And lift and release through. Really using those arms. One more. Good. You can roll that off to the side. And we're going to roll onto our other side. Grab your ball. Place the ball into the meaty section of the glutes. Rest down and release. Last breath. Roll up that ball. Lengthen out your legs. Make sure you are in neutral. Hips are stacked. Ribs are in line with pelvis. Shoulders are over ribs. We're going to bring the top leg so that your foot is on your knee. Inhale, lower the knee. Exhale, lift. Again, if you need to put something underneath your belly for support, grab a towel, blanket, anything that makes it comfortable. You want to place your hand on your hips so you can feel if your pelvis is moving. You're welcome to do that. One more. Okay, lengthen that leg out. From here, we're going to bring the leg up, extend up, and lower it down. Engaging your core, using that pelvic brace that we learned in the beginning. One more. Good. From here, we're going to get back onto our hands and knees. So press yourself up. Back onto hands and knees. Hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. And we're going to do some side openers. So we're going to reach our pelvis to our right as our head also turns to the right. And then reach to the left. Really opening the side wall of the ribs. In our third trimester, we're really focusing on releasing, letting go, while still building that strength in our legs and in our arms. One more each side. Good. Stay on your hands and knees. We're going to extend the right leg back. So inhale, prep. Exhale, brace. And extend back. Inhale in. Exhale, switch sides. This time when you're breathing, breathe more into the ribs than into the belly. Expanding those ribs out to the side and to the back. One more set. Good. Go ahead and grab your big ball again. And this time we're going to sit. So sitting on the ball, we're going to work on some pelvic floor release work while moving our pelvis. So first, we're going to start with tilting our pelvis back and forth. So we're going to just allow the bowl of our pelvis to swoop as if we're pouring the water out our front and out our back. And what I want you to focus on is letting the muscles and the tissue of the pelvic floor release and open with this movement. So thinking about expansion through the bottom of the pelvis, especially on inhale, but not engaging on exhale like we have been. Keeping that expansion on exhale. Really feeling how the tissues go down into the ball. Pause in center, and we're going to go side to side. So now we're pouring the water out over our hips to the sides. And again, feel how you're trying to release and open up the pelvic floor versus contracting. Nice long spine. Allowing the pelvis to just pivot and roll. Picturing baby just getting lower and lower. Good. Pause back at center. Now we're going to do circles. If you need to bring your legs a little wider, you're welcome to do that. So start off with smaller circles. And again, let the pelvis just melt into the ball. This doesn't mean that everything else melts into the ball. You don't want to compress your ribs down or your spine down. We still want nice long length and lifting through the ribs and the spine. But we want to feel how the pelvis melts over the ball, and can gradually get into a larger circle, almost spiraling out. Taking it up a little bit higher into the spine. A couple more in this direction. And then pause and reverse direction. So starting off small again. Gradually getting bigger. Filling your ribs with air every time you inhale. Breathing down into the pelvis. Allowing the hip flexors to relax. Good. And pause back at the center. From here, we're going to keep the ball, but we're going to sit on the floor. If you need to, grab your blankets so that you can sit on them, especially if you have tight hamstrings or tight inner thighs. Sitting up on blankets or a bolster will really help reduce that tension and allow you to relax into this position even more. So from here, you can either bring your legs close to the ball or further out, depending on how comfortable this is for you. And then what I want you to do is I want you to rest forward, bending at the hips, feeling your sit bones reach to the wall behind you, increasing that stretch in the back of the leg and the inside of the leg. And then you can rest your head down. Really lengthening through the spine, lengthening through the legs, opening up and releasing in the pelvis. Relaxing your shoulders, your jaw. One more breath. Stack yourself back up. You're going to roll the ball out of the way. Stay on the blankets. Legs stay wide, and we're going to do a twist. So arms out to the sides. We're going to rotate to the right and then reach a little bit towards the feet. As far as you feel comfortable, step back up, back to center on exhale. Inhale, bring yourself out, step back up. One more set. Good. Arms down. You're going to bring your legs back to center. We're going to stand up. From here, we're going to do our squats. So legs a little bit wider than hip width. Hands can be on the hips so that you can feel where you are in space. Make sure that you are starting off in your neutral position. So if you need to do little pelvic tilts, start with your pelvic tilts. Find that neutral, settle into it, having a nice long spine. We're going to inhale as we sink, feeling the sit bones getting wider as we sink, opening up, releasing through the pelvic floor. Exhale to lift back up. Inhale, releasing, feeling the opening. And exhale, still building that strength through the legs. Keeping your neutral. Going as deep as you feel comfortable. A couple more of these. Build up your endurance as you and your strength in your legs, preparing for labor. Good. Go ahead and bring your feet together as comfortable as possible. They can be touching, they can still be hip width, whatever is most comfortable for you. From here, bring your arms up and rest them on your head. Want to think about growing your feet into the floor as your spine reaches up into your hands. Shoulders relax. Think tall, long posture. And breathe down into the pelvis, but also into your ribs, expanding through the ribs, creating more space for you and baby. Every time you exhale, feel your shoulder blades melting and relaxing down your ribs. Feel yourself getting taller on every inhale. Keeping the knees soft. Finding balance in your weight in your feet. 2 more breaths. Arms down by your side. Well done.